Hi everyone, welcome to Embody Safety with Eva. And today we will talk about how to transform the feeling of yearning and longing in relationships to a feeling of inner safety and wholeness. So, I want to start by saying that if you are a highly conscientious, empathic woman, you already have access to all the information that you will need to be an amazing relationship partner through your intuition, through the connection with your body. I work with women who are highly aware of other people's needs. They are very capable. They know how to problem solve and get things done, and they take responsibility for their part in a relationship. So just know that if this is you, there is nothing more you have to do or learn to come to that feeling of inner wholeness and safety and to transform the underlying feeling of longing and yearning that so many of us aren't even aware of it because it became our emotional default a long time ago. And we've merged with that part of us that feels that feeling of being alone or lonely, no matter whether you are in relationships or surrounded by other people. If you feel that like inner emptiness or longing and yearning, just know that sensation and the feelings attached to those sensations are not going to go away by you trying harder or you doing more in relationships. And it tends to be a very painful place to be in. That's why I wanted to address this topic today in a way that's going to make sense for you and that will truly reach that part of you that feels that longing and yearning. So you can support that part and you can bring her home to yourself, to your heart, to your body, and to the present moment. So that feeling of yearning and longing that many women feel in their bodies and hearts, we tend to confuse it for love. And it that feeling not only makes our nervous system shift into that state where you are always on the sympathetic nervous system state where you feel like you are running out of time, and if you don't do something now to, let's say, get into a relationship or to get closer to your partner, something bad will happen or you will miss out on love. But then also, if you observe the pattern and you notice that the harder you try, the more that love or attention or presence feels elusive because we are approaching it from that space of inner lack and chasing and proving ourselves. And it's completely okay. It's your body's way and your nervous system's way of protecting those parts of you that feel that longing and yearning. So there is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. And I just want to emphasize that you don't have to try harder to feel more love and connection. So this feeling not only turns on our system into that high gear where we always strive to prove and perform or change ourselves or learn a new communication strategy or think like there is something you need to do to change yourself. It also keeps you in that loop where you feel like there is something missing. Even when you're in a relationship, there is this disconnect and you feel alone in your inner experience, in your inner world. And just know that if that underlying feeling of love is not meant for me or love will never happen to me, if that feeling stays, no matter how hard you try to find your match or work on your relationship, just know that it has nothing to do with your effort. It has nothing to do with how much you try to establish the connection or try to prove yourself or change yourself. Okay, so those sensations of yearning and longing that we feel in our body, It's a somatic experience. It is a felt experience. And for many of us, that felt experience feels so uncomfortable that it propels us out of our body, out of that felt sense, out of our somatic experience, and into thinking, into our thinking mind, into our logical mind, and all those protective parts of us that will try to protect you from feeling the emotion. And this is where we believe that you need a program or you need a book or you need someone outside of yourself to tell you what's wrong with you, to tell you how you need to change in order to get love. And that's a false concept. That's a false pattern. That's just the stress response repeating itself, because the underlying premise that there is something wrong with you and you need to change is an illusion. It is a complete illusion that your mind created as a response of you not receiving the love, the warmth, and not having the access to that feeling of home that your body, heart, and nervous system needed. So I want to share one thing here with you. So this is actually a presentation from our teaching segment in the Sanctuary of an Embodied Woman. But I want to share it here because it's really important to start recognizing. I want you to imagine whenever that feeling of longing, yearning, and also attached to that, you can feel the disappointment or helplessness that comes with that longing and yearning when you are trying to figure out what's wrong with you or what you have to do to receive love, to be loved, to get loved, to feel connected to others. So just know that whenever that feeling is coming up, it is just a part of you. And I believe this is a blind spot for so many capable, ambitious women that feel like if they can figure out and try harder in other areas, then they can figure out love, or they can figure out how to change or how to improve to feel more loved. And it perpetuates the illusion that there is something missing or there is something wrong with you or you are missing something to be lovable, to be worthy, to be valuable. So just know that that feeling of longing and yearning, I want you to imagine it as this is just a part of you. And in the sanctuary, we call it the little girl that is actually pulling on your awareness as your adult self, as your present self right now, because she is still seeking that sensation, that feeling of home. And when you start noticing and realizing that it is just a part of me, you can also take your power back. So the moment you have the awareness that, okay, it's not true, it's an illusion that my protector parts created. I mean, the illusion that if I improve myself, if I change something about myself, then I will have the love, or then I can connect to my partner. When I'm perfect, then I can receive love from my partner. When I do it right, then I will end up in the relationship I want. Okay, so that's the illusion created by the part of you. You can imagine her as that little girl in you, that whenever that part comes up, you will also notice that feeling of yearning, longing, hopelessness or helplessness in your body, and you will try to figure out what to do. And I will get to that part in a moment, what we want to do instead. So just notice that blueprint of changing yourself or seeking love outside of yourself feels true. And also the feeling of love being elusive feels very true in your body because you've internalized that feeling. It's the blueprint you have accidentally received, because as a child you didn't have a choice in what your subconscious received as true. You just collected enough evidence that it felt true that love is always elusive and there is not enough and love and connection are scarce. But it has nothing to do with what you get to experience now as your adult self in your relationships and in love. And we just want to start observing whenever the adult self is merged with the younger part of us that internalize that faulty blueprint when it comes to love, connection, and relationships. And notice and recognize that it is just a part of you for whom that experience of love felt elusive. She felt like there was not enough or there was barely enough connection, warmth, attention. You had to work really hard to get it. And a child, or even as a young adult in relationships, you shouldn't work hard, but especially as a child you your body needs the experience of the parent reaching out to you and connecting with you, and you need the experience of love coming to you without you having to earn it. And if you haven't had the experience and you internalize the faulty blueprint, there is that part of you for whom love felt elusive that believes that even when I give it my all, there is no guarantee that the love is going to stay. And that's when the experience of love itself and connection in itself feels very chaotic and uncertain internally. And when we feel that chaos and uncertainty internally, we try to create safety externally by controlling other people and their behavior. And we do it as women, especially we do it by overgiving, by performing, which means that you change yourself depending on other people's behavior and responses to you, or you are presenting the perfect version of yourself instead of the version of yourself that is coming authentically from your inner experience, from your body, from your feminine heart. And also, the inner child creates a fantasy. The little girl in us creates a fantasy where we see the potential of the person we are dealing with, or the projected potential that we hope. We hope that that person will become, or that, let's say, a man, if you are in a relationship with a partner, a potential partner, you are hoping that he will become the version of him you have in your mind, as usually as that perfect parent that a little girl is seeking, instead of seeing the person for who they really are and how they are showing up in relationships. And the thing that really moves the needle in this area, especially for very capable and very highly conscientious empathic women, is to start slowing down. So whenever you feel that urge, whenever you feel the urgency fueled by longing and yearning, and you want to do something, you want to meet the person more than halfway, you want to figure out, like, let's say, where to meet the partner or how you need to change the partner. So whatever involves that feeling of doing, chasing, striving, when you notice that in your body, you want to, first of all, start slowing your body down so you can become present with that little girl, with that part of you that is experiencing the yearning and longing. And we want to do that by accessing the empowered parent in us that offers our system a sense of slowing down and a sense of presence, warm and loving attention. And if you are like, I've never experienced that sense of slowing down, presence, and warm, loving attention. It is something that you have the ability, with the right support and the right tools, to access in your body. They are accessible. That presence, your own presence, and warm, loving compassion are accessible. We have been just overriding them. We've been overriding them by doing and striving and proving. And that's why that presence and loving compassion and warmth and slowing down feel, again, like this, it's not part of my experience. It's not part of my emotional default. It doesn't feel like who I am. But actually, that is who you are. And all those other things that striving, proving, performing, those are just coping mechanisms that we used, our body used, to avoid feeling, or our mind used to avoid feeling the sensations that felt overwhelming. Okay, so that part of you, that little girl that we started to notice, I showed you that image. So you started to notice that there is this part of me that really needs support. That part of you longs to be noticed. She longs to be seen. She craves to be heard and seen as special and unique and valuable, and she wants to be comforted. She doesn't want to chase anymore. She doesn't. Those parts of us are really exhausted. They don't want to chase. They just haven't been taught uh, better. They just don't know better. They are still looking outside of themselves for that safe anchor, the safe, warm, loving home. And that's something we want to start building. We want to build in our heart and in our body as a woman. That's your natural state of being, that warm, loving, soft presence. That is your home. And that feeling of home comes from your connection with your own heart. So when we learn to access the empowered parent in us, we start giving that little girl love and attention and support that she craves. And what happens is that she stops looking for it outside of herself. It's like when you have a good, nourishing meal, you no longer feel hungry. When you meet an emotional need of yours, you are no longer starved for that love and connection. And it doesn't mean that you will be completely independent and you won't connect with other people. You will still desire connection, but it comes from a place of wholeness, not from a place of starvation. And that wholeness happens internally when the little girl has been received home into your heart, into your body. And you are spending now more time in your body than in your mind, in those self-protective states. And something you can start doing today is you can get the guidebook. I always link below my videos where I teach you how to bring online your present safe inner parent. We do it through the orienting practice. And then there is another somatic practice, and I guide you through this step by step. And the second practice is safe self-hug, when we learn to connect with those parts of us that experience yearning and longing. We connect with them heart to heart. We are not pretending like they don't exist, and we are not using other people to fill that hole of starvation for love and connection when it's readily available for you in connection with yourself and with your heart. And I believe that as women, and this is something we do in the sanctuary, as women, you are nurtured by your own connection with your heart. It's something that's sacred, it's something that is given to you as a gift from God, from life. And when you are connected with yourself, you start feeling like you are your own home. And there truly isn't a better feeling than feeling like wherever I go, I am home with myself. I feel safe in my body. I am gentle with myself. So by creating that home within you, inside of you, for the little girl that was looking for love and looking for connection, and she didn't know that it's available for her in your connection with yourself, with your heart, by creating that safe home and support for her, you learn to access love and acceptance for yourself. And that's when those parts of you also feel like they are being loved and accepted. They are no longer running your life. And also they are not exhausting your system, because when these younger parts of us run our system, our body, and they take over our nervous system, it leads to a state of exhaustion, because that when we are operating on an illusion that there is something wrong with us and love is missing and love is scarce, whenever we go, no matter what type of relationship you end up with, there will be always something missing, because it's the connection with your own heart that's missing. It's that love that you can rest in, and that your own safety that you can rest in, that's missing. And whenever we go from relationship to relationship, in friendships, in career, from that illusion, whenever we operate on that illusion, then everything always feels like it's not enough. And of course, there are other videos I have when you use the adult to discern if the person you are with is your match. But we can do that only when that part of us that felt longing and yearning, when she feels she's home, and she can hand over the control over your life to your adult present self, because she feels home with you and she's like, okay, I feel safe with you. I think you can make good decisions for me. So now it's up to you. It's now up to that present adult self to make decisions, instead of letting the little girl take over and turn your system on from that state of yearning and longing. And also a beautiful thing about landing home and being your own home and soft place to land. So we are landing in that femininity, in that feminine energy in you, that nourishing, soft, loving, gentle energy. A beautiful thing about that is you no longer feel the need to get it right, because you see that there is no way you can get it right when you are already enough, already valuable, already worthy of being loved. So you stop seeking advice and strategies and someone outside of you to tell you how to be in a relationship, or how to be in a healthy relationship, or how to get into a relationship, or how to receive from your husband, how to receive from your partner. Because that connection to your heart as a woman, and then the support of the empowered present self that you cultivated in your body, makes you feel like you are home wherever you go. And this is something that we also are learning this week. We just started a new topic in the sanctuary that's titled Inner Safety, Empowered Parent. And today, also for you ladies who are in the sanctuary of an embodied woman, we are starting today week 1 with the module Safe and Secure Inner Parent, Somatic Practice, and also Gentle Self-Regulation. tools. So just, there is always a new module in the sanctuary every Friday. And for the rest of you who are watching this video and who want to start building that safe, secure connection with yourself, you can download a free guidebook where I guide you through those two somatic practices. Try them for yourself and then let me know how you feel in the comments. And I will see you in the next one.